Well, I've actually modified things a little bit more here in terms of trying to smooth some stuff out. What I tried to do was to go through the charter in its entirety and to see if there are other places in the charter where maybe we could tuck in an item here or there, an appropriate place to kind of smooth out the whole process and maybe even use those prior areas to reiterate a factor or an item that we've inserted, let's say, in the capital outlay budget. So I looked beyond, in essence, the capital outlay budget or the section 9, 5, 6, and so forth. And in that regard, I thought that maybe we would recommend a suggested addition to the chapter that affects the town administrator, where it lists his duties or obligations to the town under the charter. And that would be adding some language to section 4.3.2, which in that particular section, there's a requirement under subsection C that says, develop and annually revise the capital outlay plan in consultation with the capital outlay committee. So it sort of establishes the ability for the capital outlay committee to work somehow hand in glove here with the town administrator. And I thought that might be an opportune time to expand a little bit and describe a little bit better the role that that the town administrator would pursue. And in that regard, I added the language, if you refer to the item that I closed to the chair and I think sent out to the members of the committee here, that we would expand that subsection C to actually describe the process. So annually prepare upon solicitation of prospective capital requests from appropriate town offices and department heads. Now, this stuff could be tightened up, or I'm not saying this is anything sacrosanct here, but the gist being that we would establish the process that the town and subsequent town administrators that we don't have the privilege of meeting with on a regular basis, such as this, would be able to all administer the plan in the same process. So we would reference this solicitation of prospective capital requests and a proposed draft with revisions of the town's rolling 5-year capital outlay plan, because every one of the plans is superseded by another one that takes place, its place, and it advances it by 1 year. So, and it may involve some other changes within that plan. So I thought it would be helpful to reference the fact that it's revising this rolling 5-year capital outlay plan for the ensuing fiscal years, and that the proposed draft plan would be reviewed with further development and consultation with the town's capital outlay committee as identified in section 5. So that's that reference. Then, in addition to that, I've suggested that we would ask the committee, the charter committee, a commission, to renumber the other subsections by inserting a new subsection D in place of D and making D basically E, and it captures the language that our chairman had suggested in one of her presentations to the committee here for its review. Basically capturing the thought of the 10-year forward look, and the language is there. At least once every 10 years, create an update for each of the major facility groups, a facilities master plan. So in essence, it kind of works hand in glove with the 5-year rolling capital plan, and it's placed in the section under the requirements of the town administrator. So that's what those first two provisions that I think we should kind of take advantage of and insert.
Okay, so can we discuss D first, because I think we took that out of at the last one, on
Yeah.
Tony's suggestion that might be too, I don't know, restrictive or prescriptive, maybe that's the right word.
Yeah, I mean, I think just within your facilities department, I mean, that's the kind of work we should already have. I don't know if it needs to be directive through the capital outlay
Or
committee.
in the charter.
Because a lot of times, those long-range master plans, we actually hire a consultant to do. So funding, it's not something we really have the expertise or, I'll say even the time to put together a long-range master plan. Most of those are done, you bring a consultant in that works with us, that goes around and they do facilities assessment, and we did this in Bourne right before I got there. And they went through every single town facility and did a condition index that we would then use to determine the priorities for when we would propose certain facility capital projects based on their condition index. And it was very extensive, which is what you want in that plan. But I don't necessarily think it should be something we incorporate internally as part of our normal course of business within the facilities department. Because we don't have anything right now. I asked the facilities, manager, and there isn't anything.
But I think the gap we're trying to fill is when we get to the capital outlay, we don't know what else is coming, right? So we don't know how old the buildings are, we don't know what the facility shape is. So I think Paul's intent is that we're not surprised each time this comes around.
So
But-
that's what I'm saying. I think, and I agree with you. But again, that's something you can plug in
Where does it
more on a
go?
spreadsheet type of basis. An actual facility could be this thick, right? I mean, it's a major document that we use.
Well, how do we get it done then, right? If it's not by the charter, how do you get that information
The
that
TA
then?
has to go to the
Yeah.
select board and get funding to do it, or come to
Well,
the
to
town
do
and
the
get
big
funding to
one,
do it.
Remember, we called it a facilities master plan, but there's a lot of stuff that's listed in here that aren't technically considered facilities. I mean, roads aren't facilities and, things like that. But
Right.
But I think what I talked to the department heads about is, yes, we put together the 5-year capital plan, because that's really our scope in terms of, year one, it becomes the operating, the capital budget. The other ones are in the pre-planning and the planning stages. But we have to internally look beyond that to have visibility of other major projects that could be, and I only go out about 10 years on that one. If you go much further than that,
You can't.
it's really fuzzy, and it's just like, you could put something on there just to say we did it.
Too far.
Too
I mean,
far.
the sewer you could put out there and you could say between years 10 and 40 or some silly
If
thing.
that whole
but-
plan is built out, depending on
Right.
how extensive
It
we made
is,
it.
but, but that's not really giving anybody any more information. Everybody knows we're gonna have to pay for the sewer, right?
Yeah,
So-
until stuff gets inside of probably 10 years, it's more just, again, it's more of a visibility thing and not necessarily something you're gonna act on.
I think this is more like a best practice than it is something that should be in the charter. That's just how I
Yeah,
feel
I don't think it
about
should be in the charter to mandate, because it's gonna be dependent on funding.
Well,
And
that's
if
what
you
I-
mandate it and there's
I
no
worry
funding
about
for it,
is that
How do we get the
talk a
information?
lot about, well, that's really maybe an inappropriate area or more policies, something. But I think if we don't reference some of this, other boards may not be as obedient or observant.
Well, Paul, they're not following
processing
practice
and
based on the
developing
charter
policies.
today, and I can give you a couple of instances, but I'm not gonna do it. So,
This is really important data, but how do we get it? Is it in the charter or someplace else?
But
Because you're,
you could say, I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of something, like an assessment of, pensions, right, out 10 years is important information for the town, but that's not something you
Doesn't
would put in
input
the charter, right?
yeah.
That's something that, as practice, you have an update with your actuary every year, and you get that
and you
sort of
get
an
that.
assessment.
what I can do if you want, I can send you what we did in Bourne and what that looks like. I'm sure I have it in a PDF. It'll give you an idea of what the extensiveness of that facilities condition study really did for us in terms of helping us to identify how we wanted to lay in some of these longer range projects we need to think about. But I also think with the limited amount of time that the committee has in doing the important work of getting the 5-year plan done, because that's what we're gonna vote on town meeting, is how much time do you think you might even have available to talk to stuff that's 15 or 20 years out? Or do you just wanna see it on a spreadsheet to say, okay, I'm just gonna keep that in the back of my mind? I mean, because I think we would be taking away valuable time if we start talking about some projects that's 20 years in the future that may or may never materialize.
But it's a source of information that we can use, it just does not necessarily coming into the
Well, and
charter.
you have to kind of rely on the department heads and the town administrator, that they're gonna bring forward the most important projects. That's not our job to decide I don't think, what's most important. Now, we
Maintenance.
may see something on there and say, hey, what about this? Should it be moved up? And because this is your plan, you may say, I'm not willing to move it up because I think I gotta get these things done first. Or, I got 70 projects I gotta get done over the next 5 years, along with, just general keeping up and maintenance before I start any more big projects, or something like that.
Yeah, and again, I would just say with this one here, because it's gonna be, subject to some type of an appropriation for funding, mandating it in the charter is probably not the best route to go, because we could get to there and say, we don't have money for that, and now we, just
No,
buy
you
it.
don't.
Or,
Maybe the finance committee can spend their little cash hoard on,
I don't think it would be enough, even now
I
that
don't know
it's
what it would
100 grand,
cost, but,
yeah, well, it wouldn't
But
fit
it's
under the,
only
yeah, it
every
doesn't
10
fit the
years.
definition of the use of the finance committee reserve fund.
Yeah.
It's for one
Well,
time,
in the interest
unanticipated.
of time, and in
Yeah.
the interest of achieving your goal here of getting this done, let's not
Move on.
pursue
Okay,
D.
so-
But I move approval of subsection C in 4.3.2, as presented. And I think unless we start
Notes on.
taking votes or whatever on these sections, we're gonna keep spinning here.
It'd be good to knock off a few.
Yes.
But when you were reading C, it differed from the
What I've
version
got.
that the chair sent around. Maybe you were paraphrasing it as you were reading along, but what came in the email yesterday was slightly different than the wording that you, so we gotta make sure we got
The
we're
right
all looking
version.
at the same paragraph.
Well, okay, I don't know what you're referring to, maybe I have it here, but the language that I'm trying to accomplish here is that we build in wording that describes the process, solicitation of prospective capital requests from appropriate town offices and department heads, and the language specifically that kind of tries to tiptoe around or whatever, or better identify, avoid the tiptoeing, that annually, the town administrator prepares, we put in that language, annually prepare, and that we insert the language, a proposed draft with revisions of the town's. So he's preparing and proposing a draft that goes to the Capital Outlay Committee, and the Capital Outlay Committee will, with that proposed draft plan, review and further develop in consultation with the town's Capital Outlay Committee as identified in Section 5. So it kind of tries to establish a structure that I don't think currently is as well defined as it should be. And so that's the main thrust. Now, I don't know how that language might differ from the language that you're referring to, Scott, but, or what item
I
it
didn't
is.
bring my
It's
copy.
different. It's just wordsmithing, but it's different from what Martha sent yesterday, what Martha sent yesterday, I agree with entirely and would vote yes on. And it starts with annually solicit prospective capital requests from appropriate town officers.
Wait, are you on
That's the
C?
first line of what Martha sent. in her
That's
That's on
Paul's,
C-
that's
that's
Paul's
Paul's.
language, not
email.
mine.
No, I know,
Oh,
but
okay,
what
okay.
Paul is reading has different words.
Well, we just
Since
had
we're
it
gonna
prepared.
vote, we
I
gotta-
think
No,
he was
annually prepare,
No, I don't see annually
No.
prepare
You had
at all.
annually solicit.
it's the first word. C, under C. Right
Huh?
now, it says, develop and annually revise. That's what the charter currently says.
But your suggestion
Is
as you just
annually.
read it, differs from what Margaret sent around. So it's, I think the spirit is
What
the
what
same.
you sent around, Paul, was annually solicit prospective capital requests from appropriate town officers and department heads. Propose a draft revision of the town's rolling 5-year capital outlay plan, i.e. the plan.
Right.
For the ensuing fiscal years. The proposed draft plan will be reviewed with further development in consultation with the town's capital outlay committee as identified in section 5 of chapter 9 of this charter. Is that the
Correct.
language?
That's
That's
it.
the language.
Okay, he paraphrased it.
Okay,
Yeah, maybe,
Okay.
we added prepare and propose.
Okay.
What are town officers?
I have no idea.
that's the language I'm recommending.
What are town officers?
Well, that's the language that's in the charter. I
Town
mean,
officers, you said?
That's what I heard.
Right.
It
that
is
what's
what's in
written?
here. Yes, it's what's written.
That's not correct.
There's a variety of people that the town administrator contacts. Some of them are department heads, some of the division leaders, some of them are committees, some of them are, they're people who are involved in the operation of the
necessarily
town's
employees.
function. So it's kind of attempt to be a comprehensive term, if we want to try to get down to nitty-gritty.
No, I just,
But that's what it's a
I'm
reference
just
to. If
thinking,
there's
is
a
there
better
another,
word,
is there another
yeah, by all
catch-all,
means.
catch-all noun instead of officers?
I don't have it in capitals.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so,
Town
Yeah, but-
officials?
no, but that, so town officers isn't in, that's not in the charter. The only thing in the charter under section 4.3.1C for the town administrators to develop and annually revise the capital outlay plan in consultation with the capital outlay committee, period. That's all that's in the charter.
Right.
What
and
I'm
this
saying
is
is
the
revision says
His
town
revision, but I think somebody said they thought that was also in the charter
Oh.
currently, but it's not.
Okay.
So we could just say, annually solicit prospective capital requests from appropriate town departments.
Yeah, has anybody proposed a capital plan that's not a town department? I don't think so.
I got departments
Okay,
in
we
there.
could do,
Yeah, so I would leave
Like
that. I take out
offices,
town
that's
officers.
fine. I
Okay.
don't have a
okay,
problem.
So town departments,
Head,
yeah.
department heads.
department heads, okay.
That's it.
That's it.
Good job.
Hey,
I would put, just to add in, where it's right after the plan, I'd say for the ensuing 5 fiscal years,
5
Okay.
fiscal years.
because
right.
that's what the plan is, versus fiscal year / year, with the parentheses. I think it just makes it clearer. And everything, other than that, it looks fine to me. I don't,
So we're okay on C.
Have a, we're gone.
wait a minute, okay, I just did it wrong, ensuing
5 fiscal years,
Yeah.
without
Okay.
the parentheses on
5
the years.
fiscal years.
FIS.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this, I was fine with the way it was, but it was just broad and but, okay.
Which is fine with me, too.
Okay.
Remember that the Charter Commission will take it under advisement
Right,
anyways, I mean,
right.
And whether they change it.
All right,
or
so
not.
are we comfortable with the one change, or 2 changes, where we take out officers and we add ensuing 5 fiscal years? Are we comfortable with this language?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just take a vote, and Paul?
I move that we
Okay.
approve this change.
Okay,
Second.
okay,
Third.
A roll call vote?
a roll call vote. Paul?
Proceed. I'm
Hey.
for it.
Okay.
Aye.
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 Michelle?
Should probably follow us.
Did we lose you?
Snappy time.
Uh-oh. Michelle?
Do we have?
We got a
1,
quorum.
2,
Let's
3,
go.
4,
Okay.
5. We have a
Nope, I'm here.
Oh.
I,
She was probably on mute.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
so we all agree, aye. 3.2C, agreed.
Are we done?
To 0. Okay, no, he's got more changes, so let's just keep going.
So for the present, I'll withdraw subsection D. Is that the comfort
that's-
of the committee?
Very
That is the
Yes.
recommendation.
So we
Yes.
won't have a D, okay. Then, under the next one, the next provisions apply to what we've talked about previously. 951 is unchanged, 952,
We vote on each.
there's a slight change. I mean, I've kind of tried to smooth out some of the language over what
Yeah,
I
it was a little
submit.
choppy. I would agree with you, Paul.
Okay, so I'll read this. Annually, the Capital Outlay Committee shall, in collaboration with the town administrator, further develop a proposed 5-year capital outlay plan. The first of each fiscal year's rolling 5-year capital outlay plan shall be separately identified as the capital outlay budget, in quotes. The Capital Outlay Committee, following its consideration and review, shall vote to approve the capital outlay plan prior to sending said plan to the Select Board and Finance Committee for their consideration and approval. The Capital Outlay Committee may file a written report of its action and any recommendations relative to the capital outlay plan to the annual town meeting.
Okay, that's a little
That's the
different than what
difference.
you put in here, but we'll get through
I
it.
just changed a few things, smoothed out, and I removed the first reference to the submitting to the Finance Committee and Select Board because it's referred to, I've referred to it again in the same paragraph, so we only need to mention that once. And I opted to put it down in the second part of it rather than the top part of that paragraph, because I thought it moved smoother to say, we'll prepare, assist in developing the plan, and then talk about the capital outlay budget, and then the capital outlay committee will vote to approve. rather
Okay.
than get
And
into its
then-
process.
So can I just get the first sentence down correctly? Annually, the Capital Outlay Committee shall, in collaboration with the town administrator, I don't think we need further, just develop a proposed 5-year capital outlay plan, period. Is that your first sentence?
Annual, yes.
Okay.
Okay. And then, the first of each fiscal year's rolling, it's just defining what the capital outlay budget is.
Right.
We'll vote to approve the plan prior to sending it to the Select Board and the Finance Committee for their review. I thought we took out that we were going to do a written report.
May,
That
that's why you
section,
say may.
that
May.
section I don't,
Oh, okay.
I didn't put in there because I put it in later.
Well, but if we have,
But we took it out at the last meeting, but if you want to put it in there, fine.
but if it says
Well, I
may,
just
it's
think,
not
again, there's no
required.
real reference to it proceeding to those steps, that's all.
Yeah, but we
So I didn't
decided,
think it hurt to,
I know, but we
fine.
decided that we weren't going to present it that way at the annual town meeting. We were just, our job was going to be to present it to the Select Board and the Finance Committee, and then the Finance Committee reviews it, the Select Board reviews it, they decide what goes to town meeting. We weren't going to necessarily weigh in at town meeting.
well, I mean.
That's what we agreed to last time. Have we
Says, but maybe-
changed that thinking?
I think the may
So what do
is
you, what,
that,
You have may.
may is if we
doesn't really
need it
do
at some
anything,
point
right?
in time.
May doesn't commit anything.
I think
May
it's
or may
covered
not.
well, it was just that I thought it had an appropriate place
I mean,
here,
Tony, do you
but
think it
I
has
liked
any
it better
emphasis
at
for
the
us
end
to
of
do
that
that,
paragraph.
or?
Do the report?
No, yeah, like, for me to get up in town meeting and, like, like the Finance Committee does when they submit.
Oh, at the beginning of town meeting, where they issue, where they hear
Yeah, like,
reports, hear
when,
town
when we
reports?
vote on that, I
But
get
it
up
always-
and I say that, we reviewed it, we agreed, or we disagreed on this particular item, or is that something I should be doing at town meeting?
It doesn't say you have to do it at town meeting.
Yeah, it
May-
does say, to the annual town meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry, at the end, okay.
Yeah.
It's not a requirement.
No, I know, but
and
I'm
it
just
may
saying, if it's not a
file,
requirement, why is it in
And my
there?
assumption was that we'd just simply make a report
Well-
that would go into the annual
I
report.
did one this year, it didn't get in there, and I don't know
But
why.
As worded here, it does give the chair of the committee the right to stand
But
before
not the
town meeting.
The
requirement.
chair of the committee gets up in front of the town meeting anyway, but
That's
that's
true.
okay. But I do it
As a citizen.
as a citizen, yes.
Yeah.
If you want me to do it, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
We want to elevate your presence,
Yeah,
Madam
please
Chair,
don't.
by getting it before the voters. It establishes the strength of this powerful
Oh, it's
committee.
committee.
Okay,
You have a problem if it's negative. I think if you say that, we voted on 17 items, and of the 17, 3 were changed, we were in disagreement, it just establishes something negative.
well, I do that at the joint meeting, right?
Yeah, I
That's where
understand
I
that,
do
but
it.
I'm talking about in
Yeah,
front of
yeah,
town meeting.
yeah.
It's easier if you were to say, there were 17 items, we agree on everything, there have been no changes, we appreciate,
Yeah,
it's political.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
yeah, okay. I mean, I don't know that it
Yeah.
adds any value, but
No, I mean, I don't,
if I have to say something positive, you're gonna force me to say something positive.
I think the thing about that paragraph we need to
Okay.
discuss though is really who has the responsibility for presenting the capital plan to, so the capital outlay committee doesn't present their plan to the finance committee. That happens organically through the select board process. As they review the budget and capital plan and then, I believe, right, hand that over to the finance committee for their review.
Well, we do a joint meeting.
No, I know that.
but
Yeah.
physically it goes
But
to
they
the-
already have it before the joint meeting,
All
right?
right.
Should they
Yes.
want to bring you in and talk about it? I don't know, Scott, does that sound like how? it-
Yeah.
So I think it's the town administrator's responsibility to present the operating budget and the capital plan. Once we've all come to an agreement on it, present that to the select board for their review, questions, whatever, versus it coming in separately. So I don't know that it's, when, the way it's written, it's not clear about who now has that responsibility.
Well, it's written that it's the capital outlay committee has the responsibility.
In what we're proposing, but
Yes.
I'm not sure that should be that way.
So it's the sentence, "The capital outlay committee, following its consideration and review, shall vote"? Is that the
Well,
problem?
it says, that
Not the
yeah,
vote.
following consideration review shall vote prior to sending, which almost sounds like the capital outlay committee is the one that's prior to sending the plan to the
Right,
select board and
right.
finance committee for their review.
Don't we,
That just shows the joint meeting.
prior to its
They're
review.
gonna have it
Before
before
the
the joint
joint
meeting. The joint
meeting.
meeting happens later, right? Because the finance, Scott, did you guys review the capital outlay plan?
Yeah.
Yeah, but when? What was the timing of that? It must have been after the select
After-
board weighed in on it, right?
Yeah, I think it was based on the warrant as written.
All the way
No,
there.
this is prior to the warrant.
So what I would
Wait,
expect.
We
Right.
presented,
December.
It's just a-
we present to the Board of Selectmen
Yeah.
and the Finance Committee at one time.
And when was that during
Early
the year, you
December,
think?
early December.
Early
First week of
December,
December.
far earlier than the warrant.
much
And that's
earlier.
where the discussion, and that's where we dropped out, we shouldn't have, but we dropped out, and the Board of Selectmen and Finance Committee took our recommendations and did what they want with it. And that's where Martha's saying, there were 3 items that when warrant time came and
Changed. Yeah, it
changed. But it's December versus something in March or April.
So what drives the December date? Is that in a bylaw or is it in?
Yes.
It is,
Charter.
yeah, and it's in
The
the.
charter has a
Charter
calendar,
has
You
the
may.
has a
you-
calendar
you
of
will may,
events.
Yes.
which makes no sense.
But isn't this simply reinforcing the fact that this committee does take a vote on the plan?
Right.
It's process.
There's no such provision now.
There's nowhere else, you're
No,
right.
Nowhere else. If they don't
So-
put it here,
We're
it's
really,
not
we're
required.
really taking that vote, and then it's going to the town administrator, and then the town administrator is really sending it on to to the select board, and the select board is sending it to the finance committee, and then we're doing the joint meeting. That's really how
problem
it's
are we
going,
But
right?
what we vote has to be the thing that goes on to the select board.
There's-
Correct.
There can be no changes in between.
So could you just put a period, and shall vote to approve the capital outlay plan?
Period.
Yeah,
period.
except that there's no provision now that calls for that, and there's no provision under the
Right.
town administrator's responsibilities to take the matter to those committees, presently.
Okay.
So, again, I think just having, I mean, we understand it, we got the drill, but how about the
The next.
2058 board? Is it gonna know to go ahead and do that when we're all dead?
Well, yeah, I mean, it has a
Speak for
process,
yourself.
yeah.
At least I'm dead.
Okay.
That's all I was trying to accomplish
Yeah.
here by reference. Now, we could say, prior to the town administrator submitting to the finance, to the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee, if that's
You're doing it in steps.
the steps, yeah. Rather than just say,
We shall vote.
prior to it sending the plan,
Yeah. I like
So
it
right, yeah.
it does maybe that language does seem to convey that the capital outlay committee is sending the plan. So we could clarify that by saying prior to the town administrator sending the plan.
Well, see, it's already, it looks like it's already covered, though. So 9.9-6-3, which we don't even have on our
Not-
thing
yeah,
here,
we're not there.
makes it a joint, it says the town administrator and the capital outlay committee shall submit a 5-year capital outlay plan to a joint public meeting of the select board and finance committee during the month of December of each year.
Right,
So that's already covered.
that's it.
It's in a different,
It's just
Just
another
further down.
paragraph,
So
but it
that
clearly,
suggests that we, as Martha suggests.
Just strike
put a-
that out.
Put a period after capital outlay plan and strike
Yeah,
everything
right.
prior and beyond.
correct.
Right.
Okay.
It's already covered, and
I'm all for it.
Good point.
okay.
it'll be as late in December as we can stand.
It's always been
It's
around,
usually
it's
the first week.
always been around the 5th.
I know that, but.
Yeah, it's,
We'll just, yeah, it'll be, because our process, we're gonna change, I mean, we just wanna give ourselves enough time to do a thorough job. So this doesn't prescribe that it has to be, or it just says sometime during the month, so.
Tony, this is an aside, and we're talking about timelines eventually. Is it true that there's a dead date because of printing?
For the warrant, you mean?
Yeah.
Probably.
And it has been so long between cut and town meeting, that's where everything gets screwed up, that in the world of electronic printing and the world that we're in, this should be easily shortened. And nobody has addressed that, and we've all been living under the idea
Printing deadline?
that there's a printing deadline, and this could be up to 2 or 3 months.
For printing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, that doesn't even make
so
sense.
you might want to just
Maybe
look
earlier.
at that, okay, I'm just throwing out, historically, that's always been the truism.
Really?
Oh, yes,
All right.
and that's why some of these dates don't make sense, and when we say, and I think I said this in our first meeting, is that any item that we present is really subject to change 5 minutes before town meeting. And we normally meet, finance meets, capital outlay meets,
Select board meets, yeah.
right before town meeting
That's typical, yeah.
to go over, and that's where something could change. But once you're printed, I mean, oh, I'm taking it to the extreme.
Right.
Okay, so let me read 9.5.2 and make sure we're all in agreement. Annually, the Capital Outlay Committee shall, in collaboration with the town administrator, develop a proposed 5-year capital outlay plan. The first of each fiscal year's rolling 5-year capital outlay plan shall be separately identified as the capital outlay budget. The Capital Outlay Committee, following its consideration and review, shall vote to approve the capital outlay plan. The Capital Outlay Committee may file a written report of its action and recommendation on the capital outlay plan to the annual town meeting.
I thought that last sentence we were gonna strike.
May?
The one with the may in
It
it?
has May.
Yeah,
A
that,
file.
It's not required.
That's correct.
okay, so that
Move the
stays
motion.
So
in.
we said okay
Okay, okay.
if
so
it said
stays in,
May.
Yeah.
Okay, so, as I read,
May I comment?
yes, Michelle, please.
Sorry, I know it's hard with me on the phone. So I would think that, along with voting to approve the capital outlay plan, that would include, that's inclusive of that capital outlay budget,
Yes,
correct?
it is. Yes.
Yes.
One and the same.
Right, the plan includes the budget, yes.
5
Okay,
years,
so when we vote on the plan, we're also including, we're voting on the budget.
Right,
That-
we identified the budget as the first year of the plan.
Could I,
Perfect, okay, I'm
Okay.
fine, thank you.
I've got
could I recommend some wordsmithing on
Yeah.
that reference of the capital outlay budget? Can we just say, the first year of each rolling 5-year capital outlay plan shall be separately identified as the capital outlay budget?
Yes,
Because right now, it's kind of garbled.
yeah, that's fine.
The first year of each
First of
rolling,
each fiscal year's rolling 5-year plan.
what do you mean each?
Each year rolls forward,
Because
is what you're saying.
Is
Yeah, we don't need the rolling.
Every successive plan, it's going to be the first year of each successive plan.
That's too.
So in 2027, we'll
That-
have
rolls
it
no
does-
plan.
it- I think Scott's making it simple. It says the first year of each 5-year capital outlay plan shall be separately identified as the capital outlay budget. That's true whether it's
That's
the
the
27
definition.
plan, the 28 plan, the 29 plan,
Yes.
the rolling and it's just, we don't need to have those words in there. Okay,
The first year of each plan is the budget.
right. Right. Okay, so with those do we have another change?
No, are we,
Are we just gonna,
Not on that
can we approve that
Yeah.
as we, okay,
So
so,
moved.
can somebody
Second.
make a motion?
Second,
Wait a minute, are we writing this down? Who made the motion?
Paul,
Okay, who seconded?
Scott,
Scott, okay. Paul? Aye.
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 Aye. Michelle?
Aye.
Okay, we're done for that one, okay.
Which is C, which one,
Okay,
which
that's
are we
good.
on? Do we have a,
Now we're on, Paul wanted to make some changes.
to B?
Well, I don't want to,
961.
961,
961, let's see.
96,
Oh, well, this was to try to tie in the items that Scott brought up earlier, at an earlier session, that we would actually, rather than this kind of a report, would have a more comprehensive spreadsheet. Basically, I try to address that. And most of this had been touched on by the chairman's memo as well to us. The purpose of the 5 years, 9.6.1, it reads, is the purpose of the 5-year capital outlay plan, we establish a purpose, shall be to provide the town with a long-range forecast of the expected town's major capital expenditures. We don't know if they're gonna be adopted, that's yet, because we're only in the draft and preparation stage, that's why.
well, does forecast not imply expected?
Yeah, it's a forecast.
It's a
Yeah.
forecast, it's
Forecast,
not,
right.
forecast doesn't
could
mean
take
it's
out
going to,
expected.
yeah, I don't
Wanna
think you need
use
expected there.
The forecast of the town's major capital
it.
expenditures.
Perfect.
The plan shall have as its goal to keep, well, this is, we talked about the earlier
So we
point. I'm
don't
not
need
sure
that
quite
again,
what
right?
language we're gonna insert there, but basically,
I'll
levels of
use
the operating
Scott's,
budget.
what we already approved for 9.6.1, Scott's language, okay?
But then the additional things here are as such, and it kind of attempts to describe what that, excuse me, would include, a concise narrative of its contents, and then getting into this sort of an improved or more informative, let's call it, spreadsheet listing all the proposed capital plan improvements to be undertaken during the ensuing 5 years by the town with supporting data for each of the proposed expenditures to include a proposed project time schedule, estimated annual debt cost, source of possible capital project financing, estimated impact of the town, of the project's annual cost on the town's tax rate or impact on an individual taxpayer. And it also includes C, a schedule of the existing principal and interest currently owed over the 10-year period and over the next 10-year period, including at least all outstanding debt and any approved but not yet issued debt.
Now, I know, I apologize, I had done a marked up copy and I didn't bring it with me today, which is ridiculous, because I sent that out to you all before. This was in there before, wasn't it, or was it not?
in the last
You
one?
mean in the spreadsheet or?
No, in the marked up.
Yeah, yeah.
This was, okay.
think so.
So this isn't a change from that, or is this a change?
It's a change from the
No,
charter.
it's, well,
Change.
the language that's changed from the existing section 6 is in the bold print.
And I have some comments on this section if we're gonna do this section.
Yes, let's do this section.
Okay, I would not say a spreadsheet, I would say a financial document. I don't wanna keep us at spreadsheets, because who knows what we'll use in the future.
Well, I was thinking just, yeah, some sort of
A table.
recognizable form.
A financial document's kind of vague, so it's like we can use whatever we want. That's why I propose it. And then I would propose that not in this entire spreadsheet, not 5 years of the supporting data, because we can't go 5 years out. At the most, you can get, at 3 years, you can get some sort of timeline.
Why?
Because 5 years, if I'm gonna do the harbor in 5 years, right? I'm gonna know all those costs 5 years ahead.
Well, we have to
And the
put a number on
timeline?
the table.
Got it now. But
You
give
have a
me-
number, but it's this, bringing it down to a project timeline, all of those pieces and parts. I think you can do that better at 3 years. At 5, you know it's on the horizon. At 3, you know you're gonna do it.
But they have to have some method, the department heads, to estimate what that's gonna cost, and I'm guessing they go out and get like an estimate from somebody, not a formal
They
estimate.
can't get a formal estimate because there's a state procedure for it.
Right, yeah, you wouldn't have that the further, especially the further out, as it gets a little
Fur-
bit.
So that, my concern is those further out years, you're gonna have a big number, but by the 3rd year, you should be getting pretty close. So that's why I would suggest a change there.
I think that everyone reading such a document understands that the further out you go, the less certain you can be of the costs and even of the funding sources. You'll be less certain of the amount of free cash that will be available.
True.
The big change in this language and what I've been promoting from the beginning is every expenditure in the plan, in the 5-year plan, needs to have a proposed funding source.
That would be spectacular.
That we
I'm
know
just
that-
going on the other
We know
details.
that both the estimate of the cost and the distribution of funding sources are wrong. They're like any budget, they're all wrong. But it's giving the best estimates that we have of both the expense and the sources of funds we expect to use.
I agree on the sources of fund, because that has been a black hole. I'm just questioning on when do we have the detail that is outlined here for each one of these projects.
Well, it says, proposed expenditure, proposed expenditure.
All proposed capital plan improvements,
Right, you have to have a proposed expenditure, they have to have some support to bring it forward.
I agree with
Right,
you.
it doesn't mean that it's a given that it's gonna be that amount of money, I don't understand, I think it's loose enough to say proposed,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that it's, we know it's not,
Can I?
yeah, go ahead.
When it comes to,
There's
It's everything
wiggle room. There's
following that.
Possible, proposed, estimated. I can't make it any more loose and still establish kind of some guideline.
A format,
But
yeah.
then
a
you go
format,
to the
yeah.
next pieces.
Hold on, let,
sources and uses, okay, how it's gonna be funded, we don't pick.
But they should
The
be
town
outlined.
administrator picks, that's
Yeah.
number one. The second thing that I have, we're not responsible, I don't see unless we decide to change the format of the, I don't want to say the budget, the plan, to come up with the annual debt schedule. We have been asking for that for over 10
Ever,
years,
yep.
and we never get it. So if we expect to get it and put it into some kind of document as an appendix to the plan, it ain't gonna happen.
No, I beg to differ. With all
Well, I'm
due
telling you,
We're trying to provide information for the edification of the voting public.
and I buy it, but
Not
we'll
talking
never,
about something that the committee is going to decipher and alter and so
we're
forth.
never gonna get the debt schedule because it has never been available.
Well,
Well,
does that
yeah,
mean
I
we
mean,
can't
that
ask for
information,
it?
notwithstanding that nobody
That's the
ever
exact
gave it to you,
reason
which I
we're
don't really
looking for it.
understand,
That's right.
because
That's why
I
we
look at
got
the
it.
debt
Never
schedule
gotten it.
as part of a normal course of my job, is to
Sure.
look at the debt schedule, so it does exist.
But this is-
The question is,
Does it become
what
a
level-
deliverable from us?
Correct.
That's my question.
correct, I don't really think so.
Right.
Typically, as we give, and we're gonna do this in November, the town hasn't seen one of these before, but we're gonna do a complete prior year financial review, right? Once we get our free cash, so this will probably be sometime in November. And we talk about what our debt schedule looks like, and there's a graph in that presentation that shows, what our debt schedule looks like and et cetera. I just don't think that it needs to be part of the capital outlay committee's job to put that in the,
That's
whatever documents are gonna go in that might be, reviewed. Where I've seen that is in, again, different towns do it differently, but that information was always in the finance committee, did a comprehensive
Exactly.
financial report for the town, this is in other communities, I don't know what we do here, that was a pretty comprehensive document that we funneled the finance committee, the information, right, from our finance team, that talked about the debt schedule and all of that, and the finance committee, reviews that and uses that as part of their analysis for, making recommendations perhaps on articles that have borrowing coming up, and they analyze the debt schedule, and they need that. I don't know how the finance committee would be able to make a recommendation on a major capital, or any kind of borrowing, if they didn't know what the impact was and what it did to the debt schedule.
Well, they've certainly been doing it in the past.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm trying to change that.
Yeah, well, so.
Just to be
this is-
clear, this says estimated annual debt servicing cost. It's not, we're not talking about
No,
the
but
debt.
even that, and for the capital outlay committee to get into what's the impact on the individual taxpayer and stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
those
that
are-
I don't, that I thought was more like, it would be nice if in the warrant, that's where that comment came from me. If in the warrant, when we're gonna issue debt, somebody knows how much that debt is going, because,
And Orleans did it very effectively when they did.
yeah, because I mean,
something.
like last year, we approved $50 million of debt, and not one, I don't know how much that was on a tax bill.
So that should
That's a
happen
communication.
internal, yeah, and I don't.
That's on the warrant, like,
Yeah.
as education to the taxpayer,
And
but I
that's where there
wasn't.
should be a presentation, so when you have a major barn, I mean, this is how Tony would do it, if that's coming up, we're gonna stand up and speak to it, and part of that speaking is gonna say, this is how much the borrowing is, this is the impact, that'll have on the median tax bill, right, because we talking median, right?
Right.
And we put that out there, this will raise the median tax bill $100 for the next X number of years.
Right.
we
But we
haven't done.
never,
Before you vote on it.
but what we never talk about, and this is where as a taxpayer, I get a little, is we talk about them as if they're singular. Well, what about
Right.
the 105 you added the year before that,
Right,
and the 105
right.
the year before that? And before you know it, over 5 years, we've added $800 to the median tax bill.
First couple of years of the storage project, okay, there were studies done internally
Yeah.
at what the cost would be overall and how it impact a median, 650,
Right.
a median priced home, and what it meant, like $12.55. And that was presented, not presented in the meeting, but it was a handout at town meeting.
Right.
And that was, 10 years
Yeah,
ago?
we should be talking
Well,
about
there's
that
a
well
list.
before we get to town
There's a-
meeting.
Right.
There's a
And
list
that-
at the beginning of the warrant that says if you raise this much, it costs
Right,
this much.
but that's-
Nobody goes back and
that's
looks at
generic.
it. Right.
That's generic.
Right.
Okay, so as we get to this, we're saying that for this purpose, for what the department heads and the town administrator bring to us at our meeting, it would not include estimated annual debt servicing cost.
Madam Chair?
Yes, you disagree.
Well, I don't know how many of these things should be included, because it's quite a list of
Yeah.
things that we're
Trying
kind
to
of
get
mandating
information.
has to be included in the capital
We're
outlay.
trying to make a better
plan.
decision.
But this is the only place that I know of, as we're defining the capital outlay plan itself, where we have a chance to mandate that the sources that are envisioned be included in the document.
Right.
How much debt? How much free cash? Whether we translate that into debt service, I don't know. It requires another guess.
Right.
Namely, interest rate and amortization period.
Right.
But at least to show how much debt.
Which would be the proposed source of funds, right?
Right, right.
I'm fine with that
Yeah,
one.
yeah, that's fine.
I just,
For all 5 years' worth of project.
correct. I just,
Can we
I
do
think
that?
it's a little hard right here to do the debt servicing cost and the town tax rate on an individual.
I think
And
that's,
is it-
I agree with you. I think that
And I
that's,
may have put that in there, and I just want to say this to, I took this out of another town's as a discussion for us, and we just haven't had that discussion
yeah.
yet.
I think that that is the point at which the finance committee takes over in demanding a 5-year operating budget, including necessarily a 5-year forecast of debt service, which in turn includes necessarily the debt that's falling off the table, that's fully amortized, and the new debt that we expect to take on. We don't even know what that new debt is in the past because we didn't have that as a source in the 5-year capital outlay plan.
Right.
Now we will. Now we'll have, with that one thing alone, what finance needs and what the town administrator needs to fill out the 5-year operating forecast, including all this debt that we keep on adding.
So
Tell that to your chairman.
I have,
Well,
both
you got
chairmen.
you got a new
And
chairman.
he told the prior town administrator, and crickets.
Proposed sources of funding is the key thing that we need in this language, correct?
I was vice chairman of the finance committee
Correct.
for 5 years. so I-
Including or especially.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying B should read. It should read, it will include a listing of all proposed capital
A list.
plan or capital outlay items. It's, capital plan improvements is like a new term.
Capital expenditures.
Capital expenditures
With,
A listing of.
to be undertaken during the ensuing 5 years by the town with supporting data for each proposed expenditure to include proposed project time schedule, proposed source of funds, and other operating budget impacts, period.
No
I think
debt.
just proposed source of funds, because the other one is a little bit,
Operating
Proposed-
budget impacts, take it out?
that's
So
a little
proposed
vague.
source of funds, and then we'll get what we want, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll take an
But,
operating
but
budget.
proposed source of funds including debt.
Including,
I
Well,
want
it's a
debt
source.
to be,
okay,
It's a source of funds, so it'll
it's a
be
source of
included.
funds.
okay.
Yeah, it'll be
you
included.
don't want to call it, you want to
Okay.
call it out.
Okay, so let me just clarify. We got the proposed project time schedule.
Timeline, yep.
We've got the estimated annual debt cost.
Nope, that's
No,
coming
that's
out.
We've got the source of possible capital financing,
Correct.
right,
The
Source of
words are
funds.
proposed source of funds.
Yeah,
for all capital expenditures, and the estimated, we're gonna keep that in or cut the tax rate
we're,
issues?
so the tax
we
rate and the
talked about.
operating budget impact are coming out.
Because we can't do anything about that.
So it's,
Of no importance to the voter.
We can't,
it
Well,
is,
I
but
think
this
it
isn't
will-
the,
Paul,
this isn't the place to
It will be taken over
put
by
it.
finance in demanding a 5-year operating forecast, including all these debt impacts.
Okay, and that would mean that C would also come out because that is going to be, well, one, that's a
Okay.
10-year period, right?
Yeah.
But that's not our issue about the debt,
Correct.
is what we're saying. That's the finance committee.
get the,
Okay.
right.
Okay, so let me
Nice
just,
if it was in the
Think about
budget.
what-
okay, so
John.
here's what we have agreed to for 9.6.1. The prior language that we already voted on that Scott suggested for 9.6.1.
Yep.
And we're adding to that, as such, the plan shall at least include, one, a clear, concise narrative summary of its contents. B, a listing,
A financial document.
okay, a financial, I don't
document.
even think we need that, but financial document listing all proposed capital expenditures to be undertaken during the ensuing 5 years by the town with supporting data for each proposed expenditure to include proposed project time schedule and proposed source of funds, period. And that's all for
That's it.
9.6.
So moved.
And C is gone.
Okay, so Paul's made a motion. Somebody want to second it?
Second.
Scott's seconding. And then, all in favor, Paul?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Rich?
Aye.
Ann?
Aye.
Michelle?
Aye.
Aye. And me, aye. So that's 6-0. Okay.
Okay, that's the heavy lifting. The only thing I want to say about the end part here, 964, this is just a housekeeping matter.
964.
To insert the words capital outlay budget, which we've now kind of established is that first year, rather than just capital budget, that's all.
Okay.
That's in 964. Then the rest of it is pretty straightforward, except I want to go back to this thing about the electronic notification. And I agree that but we don't always know in the years ahead that the website and so forth, I mean, it's up, it's down, so
May
I
include.
would prefer to see a more generic reference to the electronic transfer of the details. And we can, if you are more comfortable, we can say, which may include the town's website, but to only say it'll be on the town's website, I think is
May.
too limiting.
Okay,
May.
okay. Which you did. Okay, so for 9.6, and let me just ask a question. Can I go back to 9.6.2A? that having a total project cost, isn't that
Oh, yeah,
what we
well,
have?
I thought we did that.
We did that first.
It was, I mean,
Okay,
you
okay.
touched on that earlier, right?
All right. So,
So we'll put the wording in that you arranged from the prior discussion.
Right.
Okay.
We started there.
okay, so let's just vote on 9.6.2, 9.6.4, and 9.7.1.
So moved.
Paul's gonna motion.
Second.
Scott second. Paul,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Rich,
Aye.
Ann,
Aye.
Michelle,
Aye.
and me, aye. Okay, so 6-0. Okay, so with that, I am going to go back and incorporate all this, if I can.
Bias again.
Should we wait here?
No,
Oh.
this is gonna take me forever to
Oh, I
do.
thought maybe you.
Changing.
And then I
too
may
much.
take liberty to make sure terms are consistent and capitalized consistently.
Well, yeah, the
Yes.
charter needs to have all that
Right.
addressed.
But I'm not gonna go through the whole charter.
Oh, no,
Wait, hold
but-
on a second. Michelle,
Yes, may I make a comment?
please.
Sure.
So I sent you some language last night about how we were defining, a capital expenditure.
That's where we started.
Okay,
And I just want to make sure that that definition is complete.
okay, so where does that first show up, I guess, is the question.
It's the 9.6,
So that's,
hold on,
I'm getting there.
There it is. Let's see.
first show up.
I just wanted to make sure that we,
9.6.2?
it wasn't just buildings,
What, what's the question?
No, it's 9.6.2A.
9
Charter,
9.6.2A. Construction renovation of buildings, equipment, or land having a total cost of 50,000 or more.
yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that we were comprehensive enough in what a capital outlay is, because
What are we missing?
there could be some things that we capitalize, such as, technology upgrades and things of that sort.
So should I add, for 9.6.2, a capital outlay shall mean the expenditure, acquisition, construction, just add expenditure in there? Does that,
Cover
it one more
technology, service?
so, what, on 9.6.2,
Point two.
right? She's questioning, right now it says an acquisition, construction, renovation of a building, equipment or land, but it doesn't have, it's really an expenditure of $50,000 or more, which may include
Those things.
those things.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
And that'll cover it.
You want to add sewer and road to the list? Sewer should be
School, yeah.
I didn't think the definition was
I have to get to
really sufficient. I just
I think
sent
that covers
over,
it, yeah.
ChatGPT definition.
yeah, and I don't have, I didn't print it out.
So it's expenditure will cover that big,
But if I say a capital outlay shall mean an expenditure,
Expenditure.
which may include the acquisition, construction, or renovation of buildings, equipment, or land.
Infrastructure, that was the word.
Oh,
Infrastructure,
Infrastructure?
buildings,
That's enough.
infrastructure, equipment and vehicles,
Just-
and
that's-
land.
Oh, no,
I
man.
thought that,
You just,
no, that's too narrow.
well, I do agree, like, we're not including sewers, we're not including
That's
IT. I mean, we
infrastructure.
could go on and on, so
You
that's
have an
why.
end-all list.
Right,
it's just
so
what
that's
are the
why, if I put an expenditure, which may include
Right,
That leaves it open,
having a total cost of
Representative type.
50,000 or more.
comma, et al,
yes.
yeah.
et al.
okay, so we're not including infrastructure, which would be
Sewer.
building
No,
or
we
repairing roads, bridges, water and sewer systems
No.
and other public works.
It's a general statement.
Well, because I put the may in there, it could include other things.
Okay, great.
Are we okay? Okay, so we'll add that change. Anybody have any problems with that one? Okay, so we're gonna count that in our discussion of 9.6.2.
Thank you.
C, discussion of vote,
Okay,
future meeting.
okay, so, Tony, do you want to just give us a little update on the timing of when you think you might have something, so we can kind of get an idea on voting, on potential minutes,
Yeah, let me-
meetings? Sorry, I'm losing it.
Just give me 1 second to pull up my, where it is.
Oh, I gotta really go do this today, because I'm gonna forget all this stuff.
Run it by us today while it's still
If I
on
can,
there.
yeah, okay, let me go back and do it today if I
I
can.
should do it soon.
We're just figuring, I think we've settled on Wednesday at 10 seems to be a good time for us. Paul's like, we're trying to accommodate Michelle, who works.
Yeah, I can't do Wednesdays at 10
Okay.
after this.
After this,
I
This
can
one.
do Wednesdays at 2.
Michelle, does 2 o'clock
Wednesday
on a
morning.
Wednesday work for you?
No,
Okay.
it's gonna be hard for me in the afternoon because of dismissal at 3.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
Hold
it's
on.
only for a stretch here, so like 3 or 4, 5 more weeks.
It's about
But I
5
mean, if we're
more weeks.
talking about
no, it's 5.
generally having,
Yeah, I think we're not gonna probably meet again until Tony gets all of the information and has time to develop a schedule, so it could be mid-October, and then it would be,
October,
it
November.
would be like 6 weeks.
It'll be 6 weeks, yeah.
It'd be almost every week.
yeah, no, but it's just this stretch right now that I have a problem with Wednesdays. I got off today because I was supposedly in New Hampshire, but but starting next Wednesday, I've got some problems.
Okay, yeah, I don't think we're gonna
We're
do,
in
I wasn't planning on doing any more meetings until we
get
actually
back to
can
us.
schedule some department heads to come in.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me,
I'm just gonna bring up my calendar. I know, the 15th's not gonna be good for me, so,
October, are we in?
And you know, Martha, if I can't make it, as long as you have a quorum, you should be all set.
yeah, I know, I'm just trying to accommodate, like,
22nd is the
Yeah.
first Wednesday I'm good on.
I think me too, what?
Are we looking in
Yeah, that's fine,
October,
Bob.
Tony?
Where's she speaking out
Shut my phone.
of? Oh, I thought, I got it wrong.
Oh, I had it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
We won't set
Martha, we
the-
talked, that wasn't it sometime in, like, later in October? Like, mid
22nd?
to, mid to late October?
Yeah, I think you
15th?
thought you were gonna get everything back at the end of September.
Yeah, well, I'm supposed to have all the requests by Friday, but then obviously then I gotta.
Right, and then you gotta go through them, and you gotta,
Meet with the department heads and go through.
so what
them.
about the October 22nd? That's a Wednesday
Sounds good.
Okay.
at 10, and then put on your calendar every Wednesday until
Okay,
the
December?
week before, I don't think the week of Thanksgiving we should meet, but the week before Thanksgiving.
Tony,
27, 29,
Tony,
Yes,
5.
historically, just, if you can group whatever, you have 9 respondents, and 4 of them are like the library, the rec center, or whatever,
3, 4,
group them together, and that would swap out 4 out of 9.
I
And
mean,
like,
combine them together in one section, you mean?
Yeah.
no,
we do
here,
it.
presenting to us.
Oh, and present, yeah, we would group some together,
Yeah,
especially
like
the
fire,
smaller
like
ones.
fire and police always
22,
come by
29,
themselves,
5,
okay?
12,
But
19,
together.
December 3rd.
Link, Hooper,
Yeah,
he would be by himself because of that.
yeah. Yeah, facilities has a lot.
Yeah, and he has like, he has subheads that have, so that's the way it's gone, and it's much quicker.
Sure, yeah, I agree.
We don't expect 1 per week.
No, I wouldn't
We
do
do
that
2 or
either.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, do 2 or 3 and maybe 4, I mean, the little ones.
The little ones.
Historical, you know, the building or whatever, the library, the
Academy,
academy,
yeah.
and a lot of time we hear the same thing, so just.
Start
So
October
October
22nd.
22nd would, to start, would that make sense?
Yeah, let's put that in there, and
Okay, and I'll go
if
down and
anything
I'll,
changes, I'll let you know. I'm
I'll
trying to
go
figure out
down
how
and
to.
scoop up the room from then until November for that. And if for some reason I needed to call a meeting just to finish this off, if Pete had some major issue with what we said, we might have to have one follow-up, but I'm trying not to do that. And are we comfortable with,
Paul. No.
Pete Petarsky, because I'm gonna send the
Oh.
changes to
Gotta go
Pete
to
I thought you
Petarsky.
meant
Paul
to-
doesn't get to say, and no more changes from Paul. You're
If it
done.
weren't for Paul,
Thank you, Paul.
All right,
How
what,
about, may I ask you a question about
Yeah.
this? Was this sent out, did you send?
I
this out?
sent that to the select board.
Were we supposed to think
No,
of this? of
I
comment?
needed to respond,
file it.
File it.
Got it.
right. I just
I don't
wanted
even-
to
I mean,
respond.
Things in here I never even heard of.
Well, that was given to us at the joint meeting. And,
Oh.
and I just added clarification so that we all were on the same page, that we,
Where we meet.
in a consultative basis, work with the town
You
administrator.
mean the
We
meeting
don't
I got
prepare.
beat up on?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
All right, can I have a motion to
I
adjourn?
make a motion that we adjourn, and we'll see you on the 22nd.
22nd, Rich. And then who would still like to second that?
I did.
Scott, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Talk to you soon.
All right, thanks so much.